let's get right into it. So the Thunder took a commanding 2-0 lead. We'll get into that in just a bit, but obviously game day here in New York. So huge night for the Knicks, looking to even their series on their home floor versus the Pacers, who took game one in a demoralizing OT loss for New York. Tyrese Halliburton hurt a buzzer beater to close out in regulation and force OT. Here's Knicks star Jalen Brunson on moving on from the historic game one collapse.
I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be thinking about it, but I think our mindset has to be short-term memory. Just from like the disappointment part. Obviously, we got to learn from what we did, but the short-term memory comes from the disappointment and discouragement of how we lost last night. So they made some tough shots, but it shouldn't have got to that point, and we have to obviously close out the game better.
The stakes are even bigger for the Knicks, as history tells you they need to win tonight's game, as they're 0-14 all-time when trailing 2-0 in a series. A loss here would suggest that their season is over. All right, S.A., you're up first. How do your Knicks save their season tonight at MSG?
Well, to get to the important part first, I mean, I really didn't see myself originally with this sweatsuit on, but now that I'm looking at myself, it looks pretty damn good. I just wanted to say that on this Friday morning. I'm glad I wore this. Now let me get to more important subject matters. The New York Knicks, listen, a lot of people are not going to look at it that way because they're going to assume that the New York Knicks can overcome an 0-2 deficit after losing their first two games of the series, let alone it being at Madison Square Garden. I definitely believe the season's on the line with I don't think they can afford to go down 0-2 to this Indiana Pacers team, considering the bevy of weapons that they have available to them, the depth, the fact that they had 11 different dudes average 15 minutes a game or more during this regular season, and they're championship tested, their championship coach, meaning because he's a Hall of Famer, he's a champion, and Rick Carlisle, we know he knows what the hell he's doing. And you have to surmise that the New York Knicks need to win this game. Can they save this season? I believe they will. I believe they will win tonight. They have to. But it still doesn't leave me less despondent than I was from the other night. Just to put things in perspective, they were up 17 with over 6 minutes left. They were up 14 with 2:50 left. They were up 9 with 52 seconds left, and they lost this game. The Indiana Pacers committed 7 turnovers for the entire game. The New York Knicks committed 5 in the last 5.5 minutes. So I'm looking at that, and I'm saying here you have an Indiana team that's exceptionally well coached, that protects the basketball, they have shot makers in Neesmith, Nembhard, obviously Halliburton as well, to a lesser degree Siakam, Turner, and you're just saying to yourself, how are you going to combat that, particularly considering what the Knicks bring to the table? But the only solace I have is this, guys, and then I'll give it to you. After a loss, the New York Knicks record is 4-0 in this postseason. After a loss, Jalen Brunson has averaged 33 on 50% shooting from the field and 8.5 assists. After a loss, Mikal Bridges has averaged 22.5 points on 58% shooting from the field. After a loss, OG Anunoby has averaged 21.8 points on 38% shooting from three. After a loss, Karl Anthony Towns has averaged 21.3 points, also with 11.5 rebounds. So the New York Knicks answered the call. Usually, they had better do so tonight. They cannot afford to lose this game. I think they know it, and I think they respond in kind.
Ensemble effort is what the Knicks are going to have. It's great to have Brunson and Cat do what they did in game one. They still lost that game. Mm-hmm. Tonight they're going to have big games. Don't get me wrong, but so are OG, Bridges, and Hart, because you're talking about. I mean, that's the limit. You're not talking about X factors coming off the bench. Probably not Jay Will, because Tibbs is not going to go. Tibbs has got to make a huge adjustment in that area. Since when has Tibbs as a head coach made that particular adjustment to dramatically change a rotation? That's not happening. So you're talking about the people who are already involved, and Stephen A. outlined it. Those guys have responded. They are not a fragile team. I mean, mental strength and strength in general, to me, might be the greatest attribute other than just Brunson's clutchness of this team. It's a hallmark of this team. So we got to see that, and we have to see it particularly close.
Well, I think anybody that comes to the table about, well, Jalen Brunson needs to have 35 plus or Cat needs to have 40, that plays into how Indiana would want them to play. That would actually work against them. Jalen Brunson used the term short-term memory. I like to call it amnesia. Like sometimes you just need to take the tape and throw it out the window, especially when you have a short turnaround. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to forget great defensive habits. And I think if there's one thing, the biggest takeaway, because you want to simplify the game for a lot of your players, of your tips, is, hey, our defensive tendencies, we took our foot off the gas on the defensive end. If we stay true to how we play defense with how we played offense, there's no way Naismith makes those shots. There's no way we get backdoor cut Josh Hart when you're just standing up, right? We are disciplined and we follow through. If they do that, they will win the game tonight. But if they don't, because of increased number of possessions, and they start playing fast all the time, you get loosey-goosey when you play fast all the time.
Can we get to this whole pace thing?
Yeah.
The Knicks want to pick their spots, don't they, and play with pace in spots, not for 48. The Pacers just are superior at that particular thing if the Knicks want to get into that sort of race, that sort of sprint. That's not going to hold up, particularly not playing 7 guys. And the accumulation, Stephen A., you know, the interesting thing about the Knicks being tired and whether or not they are, not from that game, but they had a grueling series against Detroit. Yeah. And even though the Celtics series didn't go all the way to 7, it went 6, and those were difficult games, maybe that whole thing is taking a toll on the Knicks. And again, I don't expect to see Tibbs change his philosophy on rotation. Yep. And I don't think you do either.
I want to let for the record to show, because I love my big bro, the Godfather Mike Wilbon. The world knows this. They know how I feel about him. But I don't like listening to him talk about the New York Knicks, because Jay, all he does is laugh at me. I didn't see, you don't know. See, Jay, you think you laugh at me, Jay. You think you laugh at me. It's nothing compared to how much Wilbon laughs at me off the air. Text messages, calls in the middle of the night, midnight, and then he don't give a damn. He'll wake me up to laugh at me about the Knicks. And so all of a sudden, he's on national television, sounding all neutral and astute, you know what I'm saying, and dignified. When he'll call me at midnight, y'all ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? This is what he does. Okay, I just want America to know this. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, let's understand. The New York Knicks were outscored 27-4 on points off turnovers, 25-0 after the first quarter. I mean, these are alarming issues. So what does this, when we bring up pace of play, when we bring up the depth of the Indiana Pacers, the exceptional championship caliber coaching, we all know, respect, and revere the greatness and the dedication and commitment of a Tom Thibodeau. We understand that. But we also have to acknowledge that although he's a champion as an assistant under Doc Rivers in Boston, and he should have been a coach for the Phoenix Suns, he should have been the defensive coordinator for Mike D'Antoni and the Phoenix Suns when Steve Kerr was the executive running that franchise, but Mike D'Antoni didn't want him. Doc Rivers took him, and they won a championship. People don't know that, but we're educating them right now. That same Tom Thibodeau, who is respected, dare I say revered, has never coached in an NBA Finals as a head coach. Rick Carlisle has, and he has won. And so when I look at the depth, when I look at the bodies he utilizes, when I look at the pace, I'm watching them push the ball up the court, Wilbon and Jay, after made shots. After made shots, they're pushing the ball. Why? Because they know that Tom Thibodeau is going to go but so deep. And as a result, run them, and just be in striking distance, and we'll get him. And if you could get him when you were 17 down with 6 minutes left, 14 down with 2:51 left, 9 down with 56 seconds left, what the hell are you thinking you could do? Just stay in the play. Just stay in play. That means that it's ultra important that Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks figure out a way to dictate the pace themselves. Turn it into a half-court game. Slow them down. Slow yourself down. And when you go to the free throw line, imitate Karl Anthony Towns, fellas. You see how long that brother takes to shoot his free throws? You talk about a brother that uses all 10 seconds? He takes his time. That's what all the Knicks need to do. Take your time. Wait. Use it all. Use every nugget you have to at your disposal to rest, because that's what you're going to need against the Indiana Pacers.
Can I just say two things? Number one, Stephen A., Mike, it's just funny how things have just changed so quickly. I mean, I used to get yelled at when I would wear hoodies on the show. or, wearing a jumpsuit on the show. And now the youngest guys, what's going on? What's up with that? What's up with that? Where's the standard?
Can I answer that? May I answer that?
Yeah, sure.
May I answer that? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. First of all, two things. Number one, this is a fly-ass warm-up suit. This is fly-ass warm-up suit. Let's get that out the way, right? This ain't no regular sweatsuit. This is pretty fly. That's number one.
I'm just wondering why the red T-shirt underneath, though. What happened? What was that
number
choice about?
Because I wanted it to stand out. If I just wore black, it fit in, Molly. And you should know that's elements of style. Look, you created it, fashionista. Molly knows her fashion now. Molly knows her fashion. All right, I got white too. I got that too. I'll change that for my podcast. Here's the point, though. The number two element is this. I tried the suit and tie with the Knicks the other night. I'm desperate. I'm desperate. We got to change it up.
Wait, I got to ask him this. Are you staying in the haunted hotel? Yes or no?
The Pfister Hotel. Oh, no.
You know what? Tell me. Let me say this. Hold on. No. I'm not. But check this out, Wilbon. Guess why I'm not? Why I'm not? Because the Thunder hooked us up with the hotel. They used some connections, got us a hotel. Because Sumatra and Juvie, my assistant and my security, scared of the haunted house. They scared of the haunted house. That's why. And a whole bunch of other people, too.
I'm drawing a blank on the names.
I thought it was cool. I wasn't scared. I was good. I'm scared. And then Malika told me, hold on. Malika Andrews told me she interviewed a player. I'm not going to put him on blast, but she interviewed an NBA player that was in that hotel and said some ghost licked his toes in the middle of the night.
Ain't that some freaky ass ghost? What kind of ghost y'all got? What's happening?
Let's smooth.
I'm just saying.
Right
I'm not scared.
I'm not scared.
But Sumatra and Juvie, that's a different story.